I gotta do this video before I fall asleep. I'm tired. Tell you why. Well, I trained somebody yesterday, and I trained somebody today. And, they gave me some back-to-back follow ones. Now today it was actually his second day, but apparently on his first day, I don't remember who was training him, but he was like, I kind of just followed him around. We were moving fast. I didn't really learn much, and I was like, so long story short, my manager was like, yeah, he's redoing his follow one. I was like, all right, that's fine. I'm cool with that. You guys give me follow ones most of the time anyway. Um, we're going through like manager. If you work in a restaurant and you've worked at one for long enough, every once in a while you get a rotation of managers. They either move to different locations or they find new jobs. New managers come in. They kind of rotate. It's a little weird because we get new managers, and it's funny because like this new manager we have, he's been with the company for 3 years. Sounds like a long time, but I've been with the company for 5. Now you're asking me, Dillon, you've been with the company for 5 years. Why don't you be a manager? Well, when you become a manager, you kind of lock yourself into a 60-hour work week, and yeah, you get a salary, but the 60-hour work week, man, you guys see what I do all day. If I had a 60-hour work week, how am I going to skate on Saturday? How am I going to go to acting school? How am I going to make my YouTube videos? And I'm on to bigger and better things than becoming a manager. Plus, in April, since I have such a good tenure with the company, I'll make 10 an hour as a server. So if we calculate that out, let's say I work a 5-hour shift and make $100. That's 20 an hour right there. And then we add another 10 on top of that, that's 30 an hour. And $100 in 5 hours, that's a slow night, Plus, pretty soon, I shall be behind the bar. And when I get behind the bar, when I finally learn all the recipes, and I'm going with my flow state, I am going to get some meta glasses, and I'm gonna start making some content on, well, me at work. You guys are gonna see me going nuts doing some crazy fast mixology at the bar. Well, really, we make a lot of margaritas. However, the volume that we do is crazy because we are a big restaurant. We have, the square footage of this place, sometimes on a Friday night, we'll have over 20 servers. That's a lot. That's like a classroom of servers, And then, not only have we been going through manager changes, but I guess, well, some servers have, been leaving. Some of them go to college or they're starting their first semester or just going back. They were seasonal. So that's why I've been training so much. But I don't mind. However, today, oh my God, I taught my trainee so much stuff that it started breaking my brain. Like those days you had in school where like you felt like you took in so much information that like your brain's just exhausted. I felt that today, except I was I was exhausted of like giving the information. However, my trainee, he prevailed. He's moving on to his follow 2. He actually told me, he's like, thank you so much You know, like today was so much better than my first day. And I was like, dude, I'm glad to hear it, you know, because I was you at one point, you know. Ugh, but today, at least I got, you know, my training meal. When I train people, at least they feed me. Usually, yeah, I get a chicken breast with a side salad, and I just mix it all together. But today, I was like, fuck it, we're doing two chicken breasts. So I crushed 12 ounces of chicken. Um, Easiest way to hit your protein, just well, so at a restaurant we have chicken pastor, and I ordered chicken breasts, and I have them season it like the pastor. If that makes sense. So we have pastor fajitas, and then we have chicken pastor, which is just chicken flavored like the pastor is. So that's essentially what I get. And honestly, I can't believe it. Well, I kind of can, because I was hungry. I was moving all day, not just at work. Ooh, but around the house in general. Like my sister asked me to make her a workout plan that she can do while she's carrying her child, my niece. So I had to do that, you know, because like fitness comes first, you know. I'm never gonna postpone somebody's fitness goals. I'm literally a personal trainer, especially when it comes to my own family. And then here in Texas, the grass grows in February, so I had to finally fix a lawnmower. I had to get new front wheels because like the front wheels on the zero turn mower, if you know what I'm talking about, they like became debeaded, and when the wheel, they're like small, you know, it's only like a 10-inch wheel, so like it's hard to get that thing rebeaded. So I was just like, you know what, how much does a new set of wheels cost? I had an Amazon gift card for $50 and a new set of front wheels for the zero turn that are actually flat free, meaning there's no air inside. They're like foam filled. They were only like $60. So I was like, we're gonna get that. It's gonna be so much easier than trying to rebeat it and get it pressurized again, all that. But then when the wheels came in, it came in with like a gajillion bearings and spacers, and it was like a little puzzle, except there was no picture. And it was windy, so like I don't know what happened. It came with an instruction manual, and normally when I do things like this, I tend to refer to said instruction manual. However, I think it literally blew away in the wind, you know? So I had to improvise. But we got the wheels on tomorrow before acting class. I think you'll probably see a short on my social media of me cutting the grass. The front doesn't actually look too bad, considering it's wintertime, I guess. But the back, man, it looks like a jungle. I'm sure you saw my video like a couple days ago. I got crabgrass growing everywhere, which I got to cut because dogs can be allergic to the pollen of crabgrass. So I don't want them getting allergies and itching, because then they get hot spots. So like if you see that grass in your yard, the crabgrass, and you have pets and they always come in and they're itching, that's probably why. Go take care of that. It probably will solve your issue. Whew. But I tell you what, I'm tired. As you can tell, well, I don't know if you can tell, physique update is coming soon, but we've been on a cut. Probably asking me, Dillon, how many pounds are you down? I don't know, cause I don't I don't check my weight until I'm done with one process or the other. Um, Now why? Well, because number one, your weight fluctuates so much. Like I could be 10 pounds heavier if I crushed 400 grams of carbs right now, or I could be lighter depending on how much water I drink, how much sodium I have. Now you could tell me, well, Dylan, don't you want to see your average go down? Yeah, but I don't need a scale to do that. The scale is just a number. The one reason I like not really relying on the scale so much is that it has forced me to pay attention to detail. You know, the way, do I feel lighter? Do I feel heavier? Do I feel stronger? Do I look leaner? Do I look fatter? Do I look like I ate a bunch of sodium yesterday? Do I look bloated? Maybe I ate a bunch of low carb tortillas, a lot of dietary fiber. That's another thing that can affect what the scale says. If you crushed a lot of like zero carb stuff, well, that's a lot of insoluble fiber, meaning it doesn't dissolve in water, so it kind of just moves through your digestive system just like you ate it. It kind of, your body doesn't really break it down, so it just kind of passes right through you. Therefore, your however many tortillas or low carb snacks you ate heavier, if that makes sense. But that's all I got for today. Tomorrow at the agency for acting school, we're actually doing photo posing, and I'm really excited because I'm kind of ahead of the game, Now, not am I the best at the game? I don't think so, because I don't really know what to expect, but I do know how lighting works and how camera angles work. Now, they might not be asking me to do like a corner turn or a double by, but I know the physics of lighting and shadows and angles and how to make myself look a certain way. That's also why it's kind of advantageous that I'm a personal trainer. Because if you want a certain look, I can achieve said look. If you want me to look smaller and more of an athletic build, all you really need me to do is carb down to a carb depleted state. I'll literally be smaller. Like when I carb up to go skate, all my muscles hold on to said carbohydrates and I literally grow. And then at the end of the day, if I'm in a deficit and I go to carb depletion, I'm literally smaller, And that's not knowledge that a lot of people have. If you want me to look more vascular, well, give me a little bit of sodium, 4 Rice Krispie treats, and put a heat lamp on me, and my arms and chest will look like Google Maps. If you want me to look as big as possible, once again, feed me a bunch of carbohydrates and make sure I take my creatine in the morning, and I will look, well, like literally, it can look like a 10-pound difference. Like literally size-wise. Because especially right after a cut, when you get done with the cut, you're the leanest you're gonna be, and then when you carb back up, well, now your muscles are the fullest that they're gonna be. So the ratio of upper body to waist is insane. And there's not a lot of people that know things like that. And then another thing that I want to talk about is shoot, I forgot. I'm blanking. I'll probably remember tomorrow. But that's all I got for today. I'll talk to y'all later.